Misplaced humility. I heard this rabbi talking about this concept of bittul, which is a Hebrew term. Basically, it was talking about how it's kind of hard to translate the word bittul because I have this written down over here. When the language doesn't tolerate the concept, bittul, the more than modesty and humility, bittul, a suspension of self in order to absorb something greater than yourself. For example, when we are in awe, we are listening, we are learning, we are absorbing. When you climb a large mountain with a view that's coming up, and you see this view, before you make your YouTube video about the view or write your blog or call your mom, your friend, your girlfriend, your family, and tell them about the view, taking pictures, absorb it. How can you explain and talk about something without absorbing it first? And this was the concept of the word bittul. There's more to it, I guess, but overall, the misplaced humility kind of interested me. Basically talked about the idea of recognizing not what your role in it is, but what has to be done. In the sense of, let's say see a kid getting abused or yelled at by a parent at your local Starbucks while you're getting your very hot cappuccino that you've been standing in line for, awkwardly looking around because you don't know what to do with your empty hands and you don't want to be on your phone, and you see this kid getting yelled at by his parents or his dad. It's like a blue collar dad, and you can tell that there's stressful environment. Why are they at a Starbucks this early in the morning? I don't know. Should he be in school right now? Maybe he's homeschooled. But you see this abuse that you think is happening, or maybe it's not happening, it is happening. I don't know. You just see an event, and inside of you feels like I should stand up and say something. There's a lot of events like that happen where, like, should I say something? Or is it not my place? And this misplaced humility is you're subjected to the tainted fact because it's biased. A lot of the things when you come into a situation where it's, I should speak up, or I should say something, or I should stand up for this, or I should do this or that, it's based on what needs you have. It's based on, will this make me look good? Will this make me feel good about myself? Will speaking up about this, whether it's true or not, make me feel better about myself? And if you dig deeper into what's actually going on in the way you think and, the way why you do things, like, okay, I'm going to speak out about this, but why? Does me speaking out about this gonna stop the abuse from happening? How is me giving, okay, if I see someone homeless and I truly want to help them, rather than making myself feel good by giving him $1 or $5, taking them in, feeding them, rejuvenating their life so they can get out of the streets, which is, I'm not saying to do this. Usually if you're on the street, there's a whole separate reason: drugs, mental health, main reason, which leads to drugs, this and that. And eventually you get to the point where the only thing, the narrowing of your happiness, the narrowing of addiction is the narrowing of what brings you pleasure. And you get to the point where the only thing that brings you pleasure is putting the powder in your nose, and sleeping in a comfortable bed doesn't give you the same comfort as putting powder, copious amounts of powder in your nose, or however you're using the substance you're using, or abusing yourself, or drinking poison out of a brown paper bag on the side of the road, freezing cold. But still, the narrowing of happiness has gotten so narrowed that you've let go of everything, and the only thing that brings the happiness is that one specific thing, which is something evil, that is not right, and that shouldn't be a way you live. That is the stealing of the soul. And there's ways to get back from this. I've had a video of the demonic, possession of opiate addiction, and you can scroll down my channel. And if you want more videos about the topic, let me know in the comments below. It's a very personal, not to say private, I mean, it is private, but I do feel comfortable talking about it, but sometimes I hesitate because some of the stuff is too graphic. Some of the stuff is maybe I haven't even unpacked the betrayal of that I, in a sense, did to myself and my loved ones and ex-girlfriend, and a lot of that is. It's been a little while since that happened, but traumatic events sometimes linger in your head, and you will figure out ways to make sense of them. And whatever way that is, let me know how you make sense of these traumatic events. Do you fight? Do you freeze? Do you run away? Do you numb yourself? When we have these misplaced humility, we have this sense of, I'm going to be humble. I'm going to be not, I don't want to be prideful. I don't want to stand up for this. This is not. I think that's what destroys everything. Sometimes we think we're being humble. We think we're being, the bigger person in a situation. But in reality, to look out for the other person, for their benefit. But in reality, I think you're just looking out for yourself and making yourself feel better. And this is coming from just what I think about myself. I sit there and think, why am I being so nice to this person? Why am I mean, be nice to people, be empathetic, but, keep it at your loved ones and, people who are empathetic with you and nice to you. But sometimes I will meet someone and I'll feel their emotions so deeply. I used to think it was in my head. Then I used to think it was real. Then I used to think it was in my head. But now I believe that it's real. Because too many things have happened. I've felt too many things, coincidences. I do believe you can feel someone else's emotion. And it's not like this mystical type of, magic power. It's just being observant. You can observe someone's face, small changes, micro expressions, the way they dress, hand movements, facial movements, how jittery they are, their tone, the words they use, body language, the vibe. All that creates a vibe. You don't even have to have any of those characters. Just there's a vibe, a soul. There's this huge field of energy that you enter into when you're talking to someone else. And sometimes with me, I let whatever they're feeling come into me because it's a way of relating to someone. If a cashier's pissed off, I'm not gonna be like oh yeah, can I get this? I'm usually gonna be like, yeah, can I? Like if I'm with someone and my girlfriend's, taking a little bit of time, I don't like that I do this. I'll start siding with the cashier in the way of like, I can see that he's getting irritated or she's getting irritated, the cashier, that my girlfriend is taking time to order, but it's not that he's frustrated at her. It's more so, who wants to work, especially like at a place where unless you own the place, most people don't want to work at wherever they're working. I can just clearly say that. No matter how good your job is, most people don't want to work where they're working. I can guarantee you that. No matter how much money they're making, there's an exception to the few, but we are usually pushed into doing something we don't like and develop like a fake passion with it to, satisfy society and, our parents and this and that. Because if it literally was up to me, a part of me just wishes I could just live in the woods, but the thing is, you need to have some food and you need to gather that stuff, and there's a balance. But I do think that world that we live in now is pushing too much of a certain materialistic consumerism type of behavior that, it's good to make $1 million, $2 million a year, a month, and I'm sure we all want to do that, and we all will if you achieve for it. But it shouldn't be like a thing that I feel like is kind of implicitly put in the back of our head that this is a god or this is what you should worship, money. And you look at the money, you look at what's written on the money, and God we trust, and you realize the whole alchemy of turning paper into gold or whatever it is, because money is just paper, right? We give it value. This video is all over the place. I just found it interesting how we tend to be humble selectively. We sometimes misplace our humility depending on how good it'll make us feel. I really do think that sometimes when we are, being the bigger person or being this or, I'm just not going to say anything. It's not my place. Or it is my place. I urge you to think deeper. I really encourage people, and this is a struggle that I've had, to sit there and, when something happens, rather than just reacting at that moment, to think. Even if it's a little bit, nothing's going to happen. Just think about whatever happened and then react. Because in the silence, in the thinking, and the time that you think, you will have some realizations when your emotions start to level out. Because we are emotional beings and tend to make most of our decisions based on emotions. Similarly to how you might have clicked this video based on an emotion that the title created in you. You might have related to something or seen another video of mine, or maybe my face, you see a similarity. Maybe I look like someone you might have met or have seen. The things we do is just because of emotion. If you can place yourself or create a specific state of mind to yourself or someone else, then you can make yourself or someone do anything. That is scary and very interesting at the same time, because like a weapon, like a knife, can be used to make delicious food. A gun could be used to make you feel safe. Those things can also be used for destruction. Heat, fire can warm you, but lead uncontrolled can burn the whole forest and the city down, and infrastructures that have been built for hundreds of years out of control. So this rabbi on YouTube, I forget his name, had this analogy, and I'm not Jewish or anything, and I just find religion interesting, different religions. I'll learn about them, and right now I'm learning about Judaism and stuff that has been going on recently, and I've been also learning about the Muslim religion. It makes you think how a piece of hair, if you have, this guy said, if you have 3 pieces of hair on your head, that's very few hair. It's not a lot of hair. But if you have 3 pieces of hair in your soup, potato soup is good, then that's a lot of hair. You don't want that, right? If you found any of this stuff, even remotely relatable, or you found it interesting, or you have a comment about any of the stuff that's been going on in this world, let me know in the comments below. You can also leave a like to let me know if this is a topic that I should talk more about. I appreciate and want your guys' feedback. I also have a free community. I'm going to eventually make a school community, which is going to be like a free group that you guys can join, because some of the stuff I think YouTube's going to take down. And even like opening up about certain stuff, I want to keep making these videos and having these experiences that I've had, and the way I synthesize the experience be translated onto a digital record. Thank you for watching. I'll have videos coming out. I'm gonna be putting them out every day or every other day, and I want to post them at night. I might start posting them at nighttime. Or if you guys watch them in the morning, let me know what time you guys watch so I know when to post it. I want it back and forth. This is a back and forth thing. I'm not just posting videos on here just to post. I do appreciate and read every single comment. And this is for a greater purpose to, have a documented record of our minds, of my mind specifically in this channel. I'm sure you do something similar and have a, document things. If you have a thought, write it down. You'll have a thought in the shower. This is how geniuses have insights and insights about certain things and certain inventions, like Archimedes when he figured out how to weigh something with putting it in water, and you can see the density of it. He had this realization when he was in a bath, and he put a toy or something in the water, and it floated up, and he ran out of the bath butt naked. Or write down these ideas that you're having, these connecting the dots, and over time, it'll fill up and you can read it 20 years down the line. And I'm doing it in a way where it's more video, where these thoughts are more, I'm a visual person, an auditory person. I like writing too, but I like listening to something. I connect better if I listen to something and watch them, and can see someone's face when they speak to me. Thank you for watching.